My dear friends, this topic is on important case law, Kihoto Holohan case, which was decided in 1992. Friend, this case is also a landmark judgment in Indian constitutional law because it clarified the scope and constitutionality of the anti-defection law under the 10th schedule of the Indian Constitution, which was introduced by the 52nd Constitutional Amendment Act of 1985. This case addressed critical questions about legislative stability and the role of the Speaker in disqualifying legislators for defection. Friends, if we go by the background of the case, the 10th schedule was introduced to curb political defections by legislators, ensuring stability in governments and reducing opportunistic shifts for personal or political gains. It empowered the speaker or chairman of the legislature to decide on disqualification matters related to defections. The constitutional validity of the 10th schedule was challenged in the Kihoto Holohan case, primarily on the grounds that it violated the basic structure of the Constitution. Critics argued that giving the Speaker the authority to decide disqualifications undermined the principles of impartiality and violated the separation of powers. The petitioners argued in this case that petitioners contended that 10th schedule conferred excessive powers on the Speaker who might not act impartially due to their political affiliation. It violated legislators' freedom of speech and expression under Article 19(1)(a). It undermined judicial review by making the Speaker's decision final. Whereas the government defended the law, asserting that it was necessary to prevent destabilizing defections and ensure the integrity of the democratic process. Now, issues raised in this were why the 10th schedule, consistent with the basic structure doctrine, did the speaker's role in deciding disqualifications violate the principles of separation of power? Why the exclusion of judicial review over the speaker's decision valid? Honorable Supreme Court gave its judgment. The judgment was given by a bench of 5-judge constitutional bench of the Supreme Court on 18th November 1992. This court upheld the validity of the 10th schedule, but introduced important safeguards to prevent its misuse. Constitutionality of the 10th schedule was upheld. The court ruled that 10th schedule does not violate the basic structure of the Constitution. It was deemed essential to curb the menace of political defection, which destabilized elected governments. The Speaker's role as the authority to decide disqualification cases was upheld. However, the court acknowledged concerns about impartiality and ruled that Speaker's decisions are subject to judicial review. The court held that judicial review is part of basic structure of the Constitution and cannot be excluded, even in matters related to 10th schedule. While the Speaker's decision would be final, it could be challenged in a court of law if it was found to be malified, arbitrary, or unconstitutional. The court clarified that Speaker's authority under the 10th schedule did not violate the principles of separation of power, as the Speaker performed a quasi-judicial function in this context. The court rejected the argument that the 10th schedule violated legislators' freedom of speech under Article 19, subclause 1A. It ruled that anti-defection provisions were reasonable restrictions in the interest of parliamentary democracy. So, friends, the significance of the judgment is that it strengthened anti-defection laws. The judgment upheld the validity of the 10th schedule, ensuring stability in the political system by deterring opportunistic defections. It preserved judicial review. By allowing judicial review of the Speaker's decision, the court provided a vital check against political misuse of power. Balance of power. The judgment maintained a balance between legislative stability and individual freedom, ensuring that anti-defection law operates within constitutional limits. Safeguards against abuse. The recognition of potential bias in the speaker's role led to subsequent discussions on the need for an independent tribunal to decide defection cases. So, friends, when a case is there is democracy, critics come forward. So, the what were the criticism and challenges? Speaker's impartiality. Critics argued that the speaker, being a member of the political party, may not always act impartially, leading to controversy in defection cases. There may be delay in decision. Delay in resolving defection cases often lead to prolonged political uncertainty, undermining the purpose of law. Need for reform. Suggestions have been made to transfer the authority to decide disqualification from the Speaker to an independent tribunal or the Election Commission. So, net conclusion of the judgment is the Kihoto Holohan case is a landmark in Indian constitutional law, ensuring the validity of anti-defection law while safeguarding the principles of judicial review and natural justice. It reinforced the balance between democratic stability and constitutional values, becoming a cornerstone for managing defections in Indian politics. That's all. God bless you all. See you again.